Welcome back to the I Am Passionate podcast. I hope you all are doing really, really well. And we're back. I took last week off. I was just procrastinating, to be honest with you, just keeping it real. And I had another idea planned, but I just didn't get it to work out. So instead, I'm going to do something a little bit different. And that is just kind of a keeping it real episode, just providing you all an update on just me in general. So this is not going to be a very long episode at all. I'm just going to talk about me, and this might be 15 minutes, this might be 20 minutes. This isn't meant to be a long episode. In all honesty, I'm just not very good at talking about myself. Not that I can't. It's just, some people, I'm sure some people like to talk about themselves. It's not that I don't, I just don't do it all that often. And really, just also the first thing I want to get out there is, I'm sure Augustana College, where I graduated from last year, I'm sure their graduation is, within the next couple of weeks. Shout out to all the seniors and people who are graduating early. It's a grind. Trust me, I know. Whether you've graduated early or it took you 4 years or if it took you longer, does not matter. It is a grind. The college lifestyle, it can be rough. Like, I think for me personally, I had a bit more of a hard time in high school than college, not because of like the content of it. I think once I got to my area of study in college, I could dedicate my focus to that. That is why I kind of think I had an easier time in college. And to be honest, I didn't pick certain majors that would require a lot of math or science. Not that I'm not good at those subjects, it's just, I'm playing to my strong suits. Like, I didn't want to have to take a bunch of math tests. I did not, because I had the worst test anxiety in school. Like, I was the type of person who I would do really good on the homework, really good on quizzes, then come test time, I'd fail. Um, and like I would do every strategy possible known to man, and it would work sometimes. Sometimes it wouldn't. But hey, it is what it is. And so I just wanted to get that out of the way, just congratulating all of the people graduating from Augustana, but also in the same vein, congratulations to just people graduating in general, whether it's college, high school, eighth grade, post grad. I do know a couple people who are in graduate school and their undergrad right about now. Um, but regardless, just congratulations again. I know I'm yapping a little bit. I'm doing pretty good right now. And so back to me. The first question in my keeping it real episode is going to be, why do I focus on positive topics? There's already so much negativity in this world. Like, every day, every turn, something else crazy happening. I saw in the news that a high school girl, I don't know if she was a junior or senior, but she had passed away after her high school prom, which, rest in peace to her, rest in peace to anybody involved. I need to do more research on that topic. But still, though, it's just a very sad story. And, there's just like, it's like every day there's something new that comes out that's just very sad. And I believe it's important to be aware of what's going on in the world, whether it's, something extremely negative, how our lives can change, from today to next year or 2 years from now, 10 years from now, it doesn't matter. I believe that you should stay as informed as possible, whether it's you just read a couple articles a day, you watch the news for a little bit, it doesn't matter. I just believe it is very, very important to stay informed, and I do my best with that. Um, but I want to just be a source where people can come to maybe just relax or have some sort of positivity in the world. Like, yes, a huge part of the podcast is football, and I get it. Not everybody's a sports fan. Not everybody is. Um, but I know that a lot of people who do listen to my podcast, even if they're not interested in football, they support me in my endeavors, which also shout out to you for that. Like, for real, that just means a lot. And so I know that, not everybody enjoys sports like I do, but I still hope that this podcast is a place where you can kind of just come, listen to the episode, feel like you're a part of it, even if it's just a little bit. But yeah, I just want my platform, my brand to just be positive, but also to be aware. I'm not naive. I know of a lot of the things that are going on around this world, and also there's still a lot that doesn't get recognized as much by mainstream media. So I just want to be a place where people can come to relax, unwind a little bit, even if it's a topic that they might not be as passionate about as I am. Following up with that, why do I play video games on my YouTube channel? I like to think I'm pretty good at video games. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn. I think that I can draw in viewers from the video games that I play to listen to this podcast, which I'm not 100% sure of the numbers. By that, I mean people who've listened to my podcast. Do they also watch my gaming videos? I've got no idea. Even though that, yes, I can look at the advanced stats of all of my videos on my channel. I can definitely do that, and I do that pretty often, just because I try to see like, okay, what did I do in this video? Like, so for example, my most popular YouTube video is Ultra Rumble video, where I compared the quirk set of Dobby in My Hero to the original Dobby that's in the game. Which, to be honest, I'm still a little surprised that it's my most viewed video, but hey, I must have posted that at a really good time. Um, which I think it has about 450 views at the time of this recording. I think, which, um, yeah, My Hero Ultra Rumble is a very niche game. Yes, it is a very, very popular anime, um, where, very, very huge today. But I feel like I can make a impact in growing my YouTube channel through posting clips of that game rather than me posting Fortnite, Call of Duty games. Because, for example, Fortnite, first off, I'm gonna get scraped up if I play Fortnite. I'm just gonna be real. Like, I used to play back in high school. Yes, I had posted a solo dub victory back in like 2018. I was one of those people. I got like one solo win and decided, you know what, I'm never gonna play again. I went into retirement. But like, for those of you who are in like gaming community, or just are aware of, okay, what type of content creators play what kind of games, like Fortnite, the biggest Fortnite streamer I can think of at the moment is Ninja. Not sure if he still streams Fortnite, but I do see him on TikTok from time to time. Call of Duty, me specifically, I just pay more attention to the zombies YouTubers. So like Mr. Raffle Waffles, Mr. Dalek JD, um, Noah J456, just because mostly those are the three that, growing up, like in Black Ops 3, where like, they would post like their Easter egg videos or live streams, which I wasn't really the type to watch the live streams, but I would watch like maybe a few minutes of it, like when a new map comes out, like when Shattered Veil for Black Ops 6 came out. I kind of just tuned in for a little bit just to see like how far along they were in the Easter egg, just to see who would be first to solve, like to figure it all out. But yeah, no, I definitely think I need to start posting other games like Tom Clancy's the Ghost Recon game. I posted a lot when the channel first started. I think I need to bring it back. The reason why I didn't really stick through with my Road to Glory is honestly Road to Glory on College Football 25 is honestly just because Road to Glory is just they didn't. I think that will probably be my only flaw with College Football 25 as a whole. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a couple smaller things in the game that I don't like, but I can overlook them. But Road to Glory, I didn't own NCAA 14, but my friend Kevin did. Last year we were roommates, and so I hopped on his Xbox. I played it a little bit. I didn't get too far into it, but I got a good enough feel for it. Plus, I would watch him play. Um, I just think that one was just how they did it in college football 14, NCAA 14 was just awesome, and it's like they tried to make it too difficult in this year's game, which I can appreciate a challenge, but I don't like. I'm not a fan of like the Elder Scrolls or Dark Souls game, and I'll be honest with you for the reason. I'm not gonna beat those games. I'm not good at those kind of games. I'll just be 100% honest. It is a skill based thing for me. But Road to Glory, that's a college football. That's a game where even if it's challenging, I can still, play well. Like, you can go look on my YouTube videos right now and you can see me. Like, I'm not putting up the greatest stats because my quarterback, I barely played it, but I didn't do half bad. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to post more video game content. Let me know what video games you think I should maybe try to get into. If there's any video games that you think might help grow the channel and also in turn grow this podcast. Next, talking a little bit about football. What do I think of the Ravens draft? Like I said in the beginning, I think I said in the beginning. If I didn't, my bad. I originally planned on making a whole episode regarding the draft, but I didn't make it in time. I kind of was, like I had my notes from that first, and my dear God, my little mock draft went terrible. Kevin was kind of cooking. Kevin was kind of cooking. Because like when the Panthers took Teteroa McMillan, that wide receiver, like he was making fun of himself as he did it. But hey, he cooked. Um, I did mention that if the Ravens were able to get Malachi Starks, which they did, I wouldn't be mad about. I didn't expect the Bucks to take Emeka Egbuka, who I wanted the Ravens to draft. The also other question: did I expect Shador Sanders to slide to the fifth round? I believe I did not. I definitely did not. I thought at the latest he would have been a third round pick, not a fifth. But I'm sure that he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. But also, since he's on the Browns, I hope the only times he plays terrible is when Shador Sanders has to go against the Browns. I mean, go against the Browns, go against the Ravens. Um, but talking about the Ravens, I think getting Malachi Starks in the first round would be awesome. I think it'll help them in the pass coverage because last season, to start this, like the first half of the season, the Ravens had the worst pass defense in the league. But when Kyle Hamilton moved back, I've said it multiple times on this podcast, their defense that saved their season. It'll allow Kyle Hamilton, you know, getting Malachi Starks at safety will allow Kyle Hamilton to play a bit more like he did in 2023 when the Ravens made it to the AFC Championship and lost to Kansas City. Because last year Kyle Hamilton was just playing at safety, which I mean it worked, but Kyle Hamilton he can play linebacker. He can play corner. You can put him as an edge rusher. He can literally play pretty much anything on the defense, maybe except nose tackle. And even then, he's such a freak of an athlete that he might be able to do it. Their second round pick, Mike Green. I need to do a little bit more research on him, not just as a football player, but it did kind of leave some Ravens fans I saw kind of like, they're mentioning, his controversies, which, I'm not going to comment too much on that because I need to do more research. But talking about him as a football player, I liked what I saw. I believe he'll be a very, very good pass rusher. Um, and I think, the Ravens, they've kind of addressed the positions of need on defense because I do think they need more pass rushers. Um, Also, I was telling Kevin they got one of the wide receivers from Colorado, which I thought was kind of cool because to be honest, Colorado in college football, once Deion Sanders, Shador, and Travis Hunter kind of went there, that's when I started paying a bit more attention to college football. Not because of those three in particular, but because around me, more people were watching more college football. Like I remember, while I was at work when it happened, Kevin's texting me saying, Jaron, tune into the Colorado game. Like he's keeping me updated because, sometimes I couldn't turn it on, at my job or whatever. And so it was kind of cool just seeing like, one of the players from, I guess my beginning experience even more in the college football. Not that it's my truly beginning experience. I just the last 2 years of my life is when I watched the most college football. So it was just kind of cool. And plus, I think he'll be a good fit for the Ravens. Like I'll always support getting wide receivers, pass catchers for the Ravens. I like the O line depth that the Ravens got. Getting tackles, getting the tackle from LSU and I can't remember the other school off the top of my head. I don't have their names down. I just kind of have like the position. Um, but I think an underrated move might be the kicker from Arizona, Tyler Loop. The Ravens yesterday released their kicker, Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker was one of the best kickers in NFL history. Um, I don't remember the stats off the top of my head just because, he had his worst season last year, but the Ravens were kind of in an awkward position with him, um, where Justin Tucker has so many allegations against him. Now, some of them stretch back to when he first got into the league. The Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2012, 2013, that season. Some of those allegations stretched for when Tucker was earlier in the league. Um, and some seem a bit more recent. And so it doesn't exactly send a positive message to keep him on the team, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just a very awkward situation. Like, it's just that's really all I have to say about it. But Tyler Loop, Ravens kicker. I hope you're ready. Come the once the season starts. I hope all of the people involved in that situation are okay. Whether it's the people directly involved or the people who were indirectly involved. But regardless, I hope they're all okay. I am not a major news outlet, so I am just qualified to only speak about my feelings and just that it's just an awkward situation for the Ravens. Of course, it's not more awkward for those people involved. The Justin Tucker situation will probably be, and I hope, the most political thing I will talk about, and I'm not going too deep into the details because that addresses more of the negativity, and I want to minimize the negativity as much as possible. And then, really, just the last thing that I want to talk about is just, with it being May, we're about 1 year off from me graduating from college. So I guess I'll just talk about, my headspace, 1 year removed. If anything, I'd say that one of the bigger changes from me in college to me now is I no longer have my locks, which again, it's only been a few months removed since I've had my locks. I mean, yes, there are other things, going on that, that I'm taking care of. And also just the random, I bought a pair of shoes today. I should have started with that. Um, I needed a pair of shoes. I bought a pair of Nikes. I forgot what they're called. I don't have them next to me, but um, I don't know. Maybe I'll post them on the Jaren's Journey Instagram. I don't know. But I almost bought a pair of a pair of Air Jordans. I can't think of the exact shoe name on the top of my head. Damn it! I had it in mind. I forgot it. I just had the biggest brain fart. Oh my god. I know Kevin is going to be one of the first people who comment down below, and I'm sure he's going to know the name of the shoe. So I'll rely on Kevin to comment on this video. And Kevin, if you do not comment the name of those shoes, I hope you get chased by an Ida, a Froppy, and a Hawks. Wait, no, they just nerfed Hawks. Um, we'll say Shinso because Shinso's annoying. But I think I'm doing good. I'm trying to, just keep making moves just because summer's around the corner. I almost said quarter. I'm trying to, build up my brand, keep, brushing on, my skills because, I think I'm a pretty good videographer. And, for the rest of this year, my goal is to, as a we're just a smaller creator. And that just I don't just mean from posting on social media. I also just mean from, what my skills are because I do help create content. Um my goal is to just improve my portfolio a bit just to see if that'll help me in the future in regards to like my, job experience in the future because I believe I have a skill set that yes, you can teach, somebody how to use like the cameras and whatnot, the video. You can teach somebody a lot of that, but I think one of my strengths is I have a lot of things, a lot of qualities that you can't teach. Like I believe I'm a kind person. I believe like I'm a good listener. Some of that has been learned just from living life. Others have just from me interviewing people. Um, so I think I have a lot of those skills that might like for example, there's a lot of athletes in sports like who their what they do, their impact does not make it to the box score. I think I'm one of those people and with what I do. Like I'm just so willing to do some things that other people might not be able or want to do. And it's not just with my job, I just mean kind of life in general. Um just a lot of things I'm willing to do, a lot of things I'm willing to learn, my advisor said it best, you know, I was waiting on the perfect opportunity and I had to create that opportunity, which I've done a lot of those steps from that point on till now. And also just describing me as a sponge, wanting to learn, absorb everything as I possibly can. And so just because I'm done with school doesn't mean I'm done learning. And that's about that, really. Just my final closing thoughts is that I'm going to be doing some more research on a computer specifically for editing. I say that because somebody at my other part-time job, I got a second part-time job last week ish. Um, basically saying that the computer that I currently use might not be able to display the camera quality of my personal camera. I was like, oh, yeah, that's not really something that I can fix unless I find a proper editing laptop. So I will close this episode off by saying if you're somebody who's got a lot of knowledge of computers and saying like, hey, Jaren, this computer will display the highest camera quality, you should be able to edit. I kind of go back and forth between two editing apps, and that is CapCut and Adobe Premiere. Um, so Let me know down in the comments if you know what kind of computer will best support that, because maybe I can just have a computer dedicated to creating content and then a computer for everything else. But I just want to thank you all for listening to this episode. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.